Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. How's everybody doing today? I hope everybody's doing really good. We're doing pretty good, and I'm glad to be back making some videos with you guys. Not that I was going that long, but I missed you guys. I miss the interaction we have and all the talking we have because we all seem like really such great friends. But today I have made myself a salad, and I have some Papa John's pizza. I think it looks pretty good. It's just a cheese pizza. And then I made a salad, and I'll hold that up so you can see it. It's just a regular salad, you know. So I think that looks pretty good. The vibrant colors, I can see them on the screen. I hope they show up really nice in the actual video. Sorry, my hand's shaking a little bit. But I love the cabbage. You see all the green cabbage and stuff. It looks so pretty. But there you go. And when you order Papa John's, you usually get one of these with your pizza and a garlic spread. I'm not sure if I'm going to have the garlic spread. I might have a little bit, or at least open it up so you guys can see it. Sometimes it upsets my stomach a little bit. It's pretty strong. And of course I have my drink right here. There you go. So let me go ahead and open this and show you. It says shake it well. So it's messy. That's the only other bad part about it. I don't think I'll have too much of it, I hope, but there's what it looks like. It's a garlic sauce. Put right there, there you go. But it's good for dipping like the crust in. So. We ordered pizzas, and I have to say, we don't order that often from Papa John's. But they didn't do a nice job on the pizza. This is nice, but like on the other pizza, here's the crust, and here's where the sauce and the cheese. And you still had just dry crust like this much on almost a whole pizza. So it's really disappointing because they're pretty expensive. They're more expensive than usually like Pizza Hut or Domino's. I mean, taste-wise, I like them, but if you spend that much money on a pizza, I'd like it to look a little nicer, and I don't know. I mean, you can see a little bit of the crust on top of there that doesn't have anything, but it was way down to like here on part of the pizza, so. So you really do need dipping sauce. Just do a little bit at a time. So, as you all know, we had a visitor. Her name is Irma. So, I guess I'll talk to you guys a little bit about our experience with Irma. I mean, we're very lucky. Some people are still without power, without water. We were without power for 6 days. So I consider us extremely lucky because even in the Caribbean, then, they're without power and water now because of Maria. I mean, I feel really bad for them, but we really did luck out. I mean, at first we debated whether we were going to stay or go. But it kept, just like Matthew last year, kept changing course, and it looked better for us, and then changing back and forth. And so in the very end, we decided to stay put. Besides, there was like no hotels, no nothing open. They said so, at least pretty far up there. I'm thinking in the Virginias, I think, because they said everything was just booked up because everybody left. A lot of people further down south. So we decided to stay. You guys saw the video of all the food, the empty shelves and the water shelves and stuff like that. That was 4 or 5 days before. When it got closer, there was absolutely no gas. There was no gas, no water, no ice, no nothing. You couldn't get anything at all. So it got a lot worse towards the end, towards it getting closer. And we were not prepared, really. You couldn't get any more plywood for your windows, so we couldn't ply up all our windows. We need to start looking into that. Somebody's beeping her horn, so Nikki is huffing right now. She's on duty. So, come that Saturday, and you couldn't get any more gasket. We were so unprepared. We really were. It's okay. Oh, yeah. Sorry. I bet you guys missed that. She's always got to make an entrance. There's somebody across the street beeping the horn for somebody to come outside, and he's coming out now, so she's not happy about any of this situation. So come Saturday, we prepared as well as we could, made sure we had ice and as much ice as we could, and got everything hooked up, because we did have a generator, but you go only really run so much off of it when you can't get gas. You have to be really picky on what you run off of it so you could conserve your gas. But we had everything ready to go for when the power went out. And by Saturday night, I believe we were already starting to feel the effects, wind, and it's got a not so nice piece on it. I think I'm not going to eat that one. I love cabbage, but it's got an ugly spot. But, so we started feeling the effects, I think, more towards Saturday. A little, it starts pushing storms this way or whatever else. It starts pushing bad weather. Maybe not particularly from the hurricane, but from what might have been there, and it gets pushed off. Then Sunday come around and you could really start feeling a lot of storm, especially probably around I'm thinking 4 or 5 had already gotten pretty stormy, windy, and that was the hurricane. I think it's when I don't know when it touched Florida, to be honest with you. I don't know what time, about 4 o'clock in the afternoon we started feeling a lot of effects, and that's when the power had already went off. Power went off pretty quick, so we well, actually, let me go back before the power went off. The power did go off about that time. It's still daylight out. So this took place right before the power went out. It was still fairly normal, except for stormy, windy. And the huge gust had already started. And I was sitting in my living room. I was sitting at our computer desk. We have a desktop, and I usually sit there and do whatever. That's what I edit off of too, and stuff like that. But I was sitting there. My son was in the living room. My husband had just went outside. Now, mind you, it was daylight, but it was very dark clouds. So it was daylight, but it was like a shadowy kind of, stormy looking day. And I'm sitting at the computer desk. My son comes into the living room and he's talking to me. And we're sitting there, and I start hearing this noise, and I ask my son, and I'm looking at him, and I'm like, what is that noise? What is that noise I'm hearing? And for some reason, I turned to look outside our window. There is a huge tornado. I seen a big, massive wall of darkness and rain. It looked like a wall of rain and darkness, and you could hear the loud noise of the hurricane. I mean, the tornado. And I just when I said, after I said, what is that noise? And I look out, I see it. My husband come. He was outside. He come running in. He's like, get to the other room. Everybody get to the other room. It was a tornado. It was a tornado coming right towards our house. That was daytime, and I still was scared half to death. Nighttime makes it more, more scarier. But so we all run to the other room, and I'm yelling for the animals to follow. Nikki, she's already hysterical because she knows something's going on because she's like me, gets scared real quick on stuff like that. And she's in there begging, pick me up, and it must have just jumped us because it uprooted. In the video I showed you some of the trees. It uprooted the trees back there, uprooted next door, and one street over, they lost their whole homes. The tornado just whipped through them. Several tornadoes actually touched down and damaged a lot of homes everywhere. But I mean, I'm just talking about in our particular neighborhood. There was probably at least 4 or 5 that touched down. So that was actually a very, very scary moment. I was really scared, and that really set up the tone. Usually I'm not so nervous, but I was pretty scared of this hurricane come after that. And so after we were in that room just for a few minutes, because the noise had dissipated, because it had moved on. It must have just jumped us or went around us. I don't know, but we were very lucky. And at that time is when the power went out. So we got the generator all hooked up and had it going, and we thought maybe we could run the TV, but the cable went out right away too. Because we wanted to be, we still had our phones, but not our home phones. The home phone went out, the cable and the TV went out because we're all together. I said cable and TV, but I meant cable and internet. But we still had our phones, but the cell tower, we usually have LTE in our area, but when the storm came, it must have did some damage because it went down to like 2 bars. So we didn't have the best internet, but we had some internet that we could stay in contact with family and stuff like that. But that all went out. So we hooked up the generator and we hooked the refrigerator to it and a ceiling fan, which it still was hot and miserable. I guess I'm a little bit spoiled with air conditioning. I can't really be without it. It's just way too hot. The humidity was horrible after the storm. But so we hooked everything up, and that night was just very scary. It was actually really scary. The howling of the wind was so different. It was almost eerie. Like sometimes you'd be sitting there thinking, is that somebody hollering? It was really it'd be good for a scary movie, that's for sure. Because it was just like howling wind and almost like somebody hollering for help, and really crazy. That first night there was no sleeping because the storm lasted from then till the next morning. Once daylight came, it was a little bit better, but it was still very, very windy outside, and some of the photos like of the palm tree, that was the next morning, and it was still super windy because that storm was so massive. She covered the whole state, twice. She was so big. So the next morning we went out and checked our home and our yard. There was roof shingles everywhere, not from our roof, Well, there's a little bit from our porch roof, but our actual roof I think was okay. But from people's houses, all the shingles were blown around, their garbage was all blown around, and everything else. And that brings up something funny. I don't know if I should say this or not. That night, my husband does smoke, so he goes out to the porch and smokes. I guess it doesn't matter to him. He's gonna go out there and sit, but he he goes in and out, and we still had the cameras running because they ran off battery, so we were able to watch cameras for quite a long time. And he looked out there and he seen something. Every time he saw garbage blown around, he went and picked it up, and he was just so mad because we told the neighbors, please pick up all your stuff. They become projectiles and stuff like that, and it could kill you. Go right through the window, or This one across the street has a bunch of stuff in his yard. The one over there is a piece of junk. They don't even take care of it, so there's a lot of crap in their yard. And over here, they have a lot of stuff in their yard too. A lot of, things you stick in the ground and plant stuff, and which is nice, but you got to put it away when the storm's coming. So they did, but it's funny. We went and picked up all our stuff, which we thought we picked up all our stuff. And this little black, really flimsy plastic your plants comes in, if you buy a plant, it'll come in there and you got to take it out and replant it. We had one of those. We just kept it there because we'd pick up the leaves or pull the weeds and put it in there, and once that little bucket got filled, we'd take it and throw it in the recycle, and then keep refilling it next time. So my husband he goes outside and he sees this thing rolling around the yard, and he's like, damn it. He goes, I wish people would have put away all their stuff so it wouldn't be blowing around in my yard. And he took it, he threw it. I know that sounds terrible. So he threw it. And the next morning he realized it was his. So I laughed so hard at him. He's like, man, I can't believe I did that. But we were all nervous. It was crazy. But the first night there was no sleep whatsoever. Several reasons. I was, we were very nervous. Well, me and my son were more nervous than my husband. I think he went to bed. He didn't really sleep, but he went to bed. I stayed in the living room on the couch for the 6 nights that there was no power, because of the ceiling fan at least gave you a little bit of relief, but there was no sleeping for those 6 nights at all. And we both had to work with no sleep. I went back to work Tuesday, and I don't know when he went back to work. His work wanted him to be there all the time, and they offered to put him up in a hotel. And all of us, they offered to put the whole family up in a hotel, and he said, can I bring my little girl? And they said no, because there was no hotels left. So when they had to offer hotels, they had to get the 5-star nicer hotels. Normally, I don't know that they would. I don't know what they would get for the people, but they only had the nice hotels, and they didn't allow dogs. So he said, if my little girl can't come, we're not coming. So we didn't go. So we just stayed home. I would never leave my animals. I'd take them. I don't care if I had to stay in my car. I'd take my animals with me. My kids. I shouldn't call her an animal. She's our daughter. And Sissy. But Sissy doesn't care. She'll go in a box wherever she is. Nikki, she gets more. I'm sorry, this cabbage just does not look so nice in some places. She is more of a drama queen and gets more upset and excited when there's changes. Sissy, she don't care as long as she has food, water, and her box. But no, I would never leave my animals. I don't care. A lot of people didn't. A lot of people stayed because of animals. But that first night was the worst because I'm not used to hearing the generator noises, and definitely not used to. Last year we were without air conditioning for 3 days, I think. Can't remember. It took a while. But then that was towards the end of October, I think. I don't remember. And it was a little bit cooler outside, so it was a little bit more comfortable. But the first night I was on the couch, and I was so worried somebody's going to steal the generator, because I asked my husband, I said, you did chain the generator to something? Because people start looting right away, and that's really sad. As soon as there's an outage or there is something going on, people come and start stealing stuff left and right. So I couldn't sleep because I was so worried somebody was going to come steal the generator. I was up all night long, and I had to go to work the next day. No, wait, that was Sunday to Monday. I didn't go to work till Tuesday. But I didn't get any sleep. I was so tired. And so I made him chain it up the next day. But I still couldn't sleep because I still was worried somebody cut the chain. Still, I worry about everything, I swear. We've had this generator probably 6 or 7 years, and this is the first time we use it the most. Last year I didn't use it because I don't want to be responsible for stuff like that. You know, it could be dangerous with the generator. We kept ours outside, but I just didn't want the responsibility of it. But Nikki was confused because we usually sleep in a bedroom, but we were sleeping apart. She didn't know who to go with. She'd go with her dad, then she'd end up coming with me because it was cooler in the living room. And she'd jump on me, then jump on the top of the couch to get her spot to lay down. And so that went on until we got power Saturday. Yeah, because it was 6 days. We got power Saturday afternoon. So it was really miserable and exhausting because of that. And plus you had to clean up outside in the heat, and then you had no place to cool down at. Nikki's drinking if you hear that noise. So then come Monday, almost everybody was out of power. You couldn't go get anything to eat. You could not get any gas. So we had no gas for our generator. So we traveled through a couple cities. And then we get back to our city. And we decided to go a little further west. And there was a gas station open. Lines of cars. It was the only one I saw open for a couple towns. So we get in line and we wait there for a long time. There's people filling up their cars, they're filling up their gas cans, and I'm just thinking we'll probably wait here forever. We'll get up there and there'll be no gas. But we lucked out. They had a couple bags of ice, which I got, and we got to fill up our car didn't need filled up. We just needed we only had 2 gas cans, which was a shame. We're going to get some more. And we filled up those 2. And it cost like $30 a day to run a generator. It's not cheap. It's obviously, way more expensive than just running your electric. But we got gas, and there was lines for gas for days and days. Now it's more back to, now some of them were closed and just recently opened up. And I'm surprised. I was waiting that first day at the gas station. Everybody was agitated, tired. I was waiting for a fight to break out. People blowing their horns. People cutting in front of each other. And everybody's already agitated already. So I was expecting it, but it didn't happen. But as for luck, we really lucked out. I'm so thankful, and I appreciated all your thoughts and prayers, and let's all continue, especially out in the Caribbean. They need lots of support and prayers. And Harvey, there's still people from there, and Irma. I mean, you know, it was just a horrible experience. I don't know that I would stay home next time. It would depend on the situation. It really, this storm did just like the other one last year. It was going more to the west, then shifted back to the east, and come straight up to central Florida and just wreaked havoc very badly. But we had some damage. Trees, definitely whole tree. My parents had 4 trees uprooted against their home. My husband was kind enough to go over and help with that. And my son went too. I had to stay here because there was no power. We could not leave the generator outside, and I didn't want to leave the animals if it would cut off. That he would, I don't know how hot it would get in here because you couldn't leave the windows up. So I stayed with the animals. My son and my husband went over and helped my parents, and so I really appreciated that very much. School was out for 7 days because of the hurricane. If the schools had damage, they had to hold off on letting the kids go back and stuff. So I just noticed that my video is going on for right now over 26 minutes, and I try not to keep them too long because I know it probably makes you guys crazy when I make such long videos. And I am going to be doing the Munch Pack one, and I'm going to have it go, I don't know when I'm going to get to it. I haven't even opened it yet, but when I record it, I'll probably get it up sometimes next week, I hope. But thank you so much, all you guys. I love you guys so much, and I missed you guys. I miss talking to you guys. In situations like that, I can't really, I have to conserve my energy on my phone and stuff like that, so I couldn't really comment back when you guys commented, but I did, when I have a chance, I went on and read everything, so I did see everything, and I thank you guys so much. But I will let you guys go, and if you have any questions about the hurricane, you can leave them down in the comment section. I'll be glad to answer them, because I probably left out some stuff, but everybody's good. My family's good. We're worst for wear, but we're doing pretty good. I love you guys so much. I hope you guys have a wonderful day or a wonderful evening, depending on where you are. You mean very, very much to me. I'm so glad that I've met all of you. So I'll talk to you guys later, and I love you very much. Okay, bye-bye.